Hello, everyone, in this very untraditional environment. My name is Adam Cantley. I serve as Dean of Students at the University of Delaware, and we're excited to produce another video that we have targeted to parents and families to talk about different things that happen at the institution. Like many of you, we are at home, so our colleagues have helped us do this via Zoom so that we can still connect with people and still get you all information that you have asked about, whether that's through the Parents Facebook group or in emails to a variety of folks. So today we're going to talk a lot about academic success, especially during this semester. And I'm going to let my amazing colleague and guest, Keeley Powell, introduce herself. So Keely, if you would like to say hello and tell all the folks watching who you are.
Yes, hi, my name is Keely Powell, and I am the Senior Assistant Dean for Student Services in the College of Earth, Ocean, and Environment. And I work with our undergraduate students, making sure that they understand the academic regulations at the university and what they need to do to complete their degree programs.
Awesome. So Keely and I are excited to have a conversation and let you all listen in. All other living people, puppies, everything in our homes have been told to stay away. We make no promises though, but we're all doing our best like all of you are, and I'm excited to have this. So Keely, the university made a lot of changes in response to COVID-19 and having to make adjustments in the academic schedule. And we'll put on the screen the website where the new policy is. But maybe we'll just start with grading. So talking a little bit how grading shifted for students and what are maybe some of the things you're seeing are common questions.
Sure. So grading has changed a bit this semester to give students some flexibility since our semester was different than we initially planned. So the first big change is that students have the option to change registration, which would be to change their whether or not they want to withdraw from a course or whatnot. It was through May 1st, so that was already passed. And they have the option now. After Monday, June 1st, they have the option of looking at their standard grade, which is what they got from their professor for the course, and deciding whether they want to take one of the new modified pass-fail options for their classes. And I think this is an area that might cause students and families some confusion, so I want to get more into details of it. Basically, a student is going to be issued a standard grade, just like you'd get in any other semester. And if you like your standard grade and you feel like it's good for your degree and your grade point average, then you don't need to do anything. But there are some students who may want to take one of these other options, which will have no impact on their grade point average. So the options include a high pass, which is a grade of A through B minus, a mid pass, which is a C plus through C minus, a low pass, which is a D plus through D minus, and a no credit, which is what happens if a student has earned an F for a grade in this term. One of the things that I like in my role as an assistant dean and helping advise students is none of the grades that students get this term will have a negative impact on their grade point average. So if your grade is a C minus or lower, it will automatically be converted to a low pass or no credit with no action required by the student. The action is required if you want to do something about grades in the high pass to mid pass range, which are grades that are C or better. A lot of us have students who are in degree programs that require they get a C minus or better in their classes. That will still be the case. So in those cases, you'd need a mid pass or a high pass for the course to count for your degree. But on the positive, if you end up with a C minus or a D or lower, at least it won't negatively impact your grade point average. Additionally, and this is important for students who have faced some academic difficulty, students who are in the academic probation process will not be dismissed from the university following this semester, even if they've had some more academic difficulty. So the key thing to remember about this is that students should be talking to their academic advisors and assistant deans about this, so they're choosing the right option for them.
I think that's such a good point. I think a lot of this is so dependent upon the student's major and their program and things like that. So doing an advisor check-in is really the best way to kind of make sure that you're making a good choice come June
Yeah.
1st. What do you
Yes.
think is the easiest way for students to connect with those advisors and make that happen?
All of us are available through email and Zoom. Those will be the best ways. So I've already had students who have reached out to either advisors in my college who have then reached out to me or to me directly because they have concerns. So I've had students who say, I don't know what to do. I don't understand these grading options. And what I do is reassure people that they have time today. You have time, you have weeks now that to go through the rest of the semester, go through the semester, see the grade. Never before have you been able to see your grade and then decide if you'd like to take a modified grading option. So to me, I think this is an advantage for this semester, given all the changes that we've had. So I try to calm people down and let them know you have time. And then even once that grade is posted, you still have an entire week to go over this. So start by talking to an academic advisor, and then it could go to the assistant dean of your college during that week of June 1st if you decide to make those changes.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to note. There is a Keeley Powell in every college across the university, an academic
Yes.
assistant dean level individual that helps with these grading questions and student support. There's also support in our university studies area as well. So there's somebody in every college that can help you get connected. Even if you maybe are having trouble getting a hold of your advisor, they can help you in those kinds of
Absolutely.
things as well. I think the other thing, Keely, that I remember hearing conversation about a lot of our students, upon completion of their degree at the University of Delaware are thinking about things like medical school, law school, veterinary school, other professional
Yes.
programs. And so thinking
Mhm.
about how maybe those pass options need to be thought about maybe a little bit differently if that's your path. Can you give some conversation about that?
Sure. So if your future path includes a professional graduate program or graduate school, it is possible that those programs may not accept modified grades. So if you have an idea that that might be in your future, that's going to be part of the conversation with your advisor or your assistant dean about whether to take one of these options. We do know that some professional programs like medical school require letter grades, and we are not sure if they would accept a modification for this semester. So if that's something that you have in your future, you really need to think about that as you make the decision to possibly change your grading option.
Yeah, that's I know one thing that I was thinking about talking to a student, and they're like, "Oh, I want to apply for medical school." And I said, "You need to get in there with that advisor, have that conversation, and really think about that." So that deadline to make that switch for your registration was May 1st. If a student
That's
maybe
correct.
had an emergency come up or
Mhm.
something really drastic happen that they might want to see if there are still some other options, who would they contact to kind of just talk about this and see what other options exist for them in terms of their registration?
So yeah, if they've missed the deadline of Friday, May 1st, and there's been some circumstances, I would start by reaching out to their academic assistant dean, and every student has one. They're listed easily to find them on our website, and let them know about the circumstances. And if necessary, we'll coordinate with the dean of students office if there's extenuating circumstances.
Great. And I think we can put the website where there's a list of the academic assistant deans. It's based off your major and where your major sits in the university college system, or if you're a university studies
Mhm.
major, you would work with university studies. So there's somebody that can kind of talk to you about that. In terms of excused absences and things like that, was there any shift for this semester? Is that a similar process? What are you all seeing around those kinds of things for our students who even though that they are at home, they might need to miss a class because they have a medical appointment or something else that would qualify for an excuse absence.
So yeah, that was definitely a concern going into our learning from home situation. So university administration has asked our professors to be flexible with students about excused absences during this time. I'm happy to report that in my experience, we've had a lot of flexibility on the part of faculty members. Just so everybody's aware, the university has a written excused absence policy, and it's lengthy and it has a lot of details. Typically, absences that are less than just a couple days are always should be worked out between the student and the professor, but we know in practice things, may have been different prior to this term. I will say that professors have been asked to be flexible with students. So for the most part, we're not getting a lot of requests for excused absences. And that's because we recognize that a lot of people are doing the telehealth appointments. They're not going into medical facilities because they want to stay safe. And we understand that there's a risk of some people getting ill and they might have extended absences. So I would say that we are being more flexible than typical. And if they do have a problem and the student is not able to get documentation, you can always talk to your professor first. But if you need additional assistance, reach out to your assistant dean. We can help you navigate the current situation in our modified policy.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear. I know I've really appreciated a lot of the language that's come out from our provost's office and
Hmm.
deans across the university, really advocating for students, for faculty to give students a little bit more flexibility. So that was really great for me to see, and just saying, listen, this is a tough time for everyone. So what you can do to help our students, please do. So that's good to see. Um, I also wanted to talk, the mystery of incompletes. I think everybody hears about this mysterious incomplete, but especially for our families, they may not know what that means. So can you talk a little bit about what an incomplete is and why a student might want to take that in a class?
So an incomplete is an agreement between a student and a faculty member about turning in work after the semester is over. So let's say there's been some type of disruption, some type of emergency or situation, and the student can't complete all of the course assignments on time. The student would approach the faculty member typically and say, "May I have extended time before you grade me?" So an incomplete allows a student to complete the work later. In this case, we're in spring semester. That student would be completing the additional work in the summer, and that would delay the final grade. Now, we look at these modified grading options, and we see that the deadline is June 9th to get a modified grade. If you have an incomplete on your schedule, obviously we'll have some increased flexibility about that. So let's say you take it incomplete because you didn't have time to do the work, and your grade comes in and you're thinking, maybe I do want to do one of these modified grading options. Talk to your assistant dean, and we can see about extending that June 9th deadline for us to consider the change of grading. I do think that for some students, an incomplete may be an appropriate option. I just want to remind students that an incomplete is not a final grade. So if you decide to take it incomplete in a class, you are still responsible for making sure you get that work done, because after a certain point in time, an incomplete will default to an F, and that would not be something that we would like to deal with administratively. So be careful about taking incompletes, but it's definitely an option if you need additional time.
Great. And I think the hot topic for everyone in terms of the university is we are now in this registration time period where people can start looking at summer, fall, all the classes that they want to take. Any tips, tricks, or things you want to share about the registration process as we move into looking ahead for summer and fall?
Sure. So students have already been working on their summer schedules. We've already been having appointments with students for fall. I'm happy to see that a lot of people are taking advantage of summer session. The classes will all be offered online. That was announced a while ago. The tuition rates for summer have also been announced, and the summer rates are a little bit lower. So it's a good value for a lot of families and students. So people are taking advantage of it. Additionally, there used to be a cap on how many courses that a student could take in summer, and there's been some additional flexibility to allow students to accumulate more credits in summer session. So I think that's a great time to catch up or get ahead. I also am seeing some students who are opting to take summer courses at other institutions, and that is a wonderful option. We just want to remind students that they do need to fill out a transfer credit evaluation form prior to taking any student class away from the University of Delaware. This is to make sure that the class actually fulfills the requirement at UD that you thought it would. It's your insurance that there's an agreement between the University of Delaware and that other institution that the class will count. So if you're a student or a family member of a student and the student is looking to take classes somewhere else, please, please, please do that transfer credit evaluation form. It is available on the registrar's website, and assistant deans are signing them. We're signing them remotely. We're sending them as PDFs, and we're putting them on the student's record. And that goes for any time you take a class off campus, but this is just a reminder since I know that there's lots of people picking up credit right now.
I think that is a huge tip. I have worked with students who just kind of went and took a class and said, it's the same. And then it did not transfer the way they hoped it would transfer to the university. So I think getting that evaluation done early through the registrar and the transfer credit eval process is so important. Um, yeah, I think a lot of people ask us questions about what is happening in the fall, and I think the university is putting out those decisions as they're made known to us, and it's our hope and dream that we are on campus in the fall. But I think we're playing out the various scenarios, but encouraging students. Do you think the best step is still move forward with your advisor, get registered for those classes, and do the things you need to do, and just keep moving forward is the best advice to give right now?
Yeah, I mean, we are helping students with advisement for summer and fall right now, and I can say that we're prepared for whatever decision is made for the health and safety of our students in our campus community. So the fall schedule's up, it's built, students can go ahead and build their schedule. I like to remind students that we want them to be in the mindset of being flexible for fall because it's possible that some things are going to change around on the schedule. And if so, I want to remind them that their assistant deans are here 12 months a year to assist them. We'll be here. We can take questions. A lot of them have professional academic advisors who are highly available. And we anticipate that we're going to probably have more questions than usual this summer. So we are already putting systems in place to make sure we can respond to students who may need to make schedule changes during the summer.
That's awesome. I think kind of the one thing that I want to say as we wrap up, you've just had this awesome opportunity to spend a couple minutes with the wonderful Dr. Keeley Powell. But if you are not an Earth, Ocean, and Environment student, Dr. Keeley Powell is not the person you need to reach out to. So we'll make sure we have a link where you can see all of the academic assistant deans. There is someone like Keely in every college, but I don't want Keely all of a sudden to get all these emails. And she's like, I'm not in the Lerner College of Business and I am not familiar with their degree programs at that level. So we will make sure that there's a list of all the assistant deans in the offices and the ways where you can kind of connect into those. There's a website that has all of your folks listed. And as I said, a great first step, as you said, is just get out there and reach out to your advisor directly. Having students do that, I think, is really important. And having families can encourage their students, say, hey, have you checked in with your advisor? Have you written your advisor? And if they say, oh, I'm having trouble getting a hold of them, then that's when you elevate to an academic assistant dean, and their offices can help you out in those kinds of things. Keely, as we wrap up today, what is the one question I didn't ask, or the one pro level tip you would give families as they're thinking about academics and this semester and moving forward? What's with all your experience, what's your big go-to tip?
I just want to let students know that we miss them. We are
Yeah.
here to serve them. Keep an eye on your degree audits. I mean, we still have academic requirements for degrees. We are still here to advise you and to serve you. So if you have questions, we're here. I mean, we're here via email, we're here via Zoom. We know that there have been a lot of changes. We are aware. And I know that it must be a little bit stressful to students and probably their families, maybe not knowing necessarily what's to come. But what we want to ensure you is that we are trying to stay a few steps ahead of you and try to anticipate when there'll be higher needs for academic advising. But if something new comes out and it doesn't make sense, or there's an announcement, reach out to your academic advisor or assistant dean. We want to know what you need so we can meet your academic needs, because it is in our best interest for students to know what they need to do each semester so they can get out of here and finish in 4.
Absolutely. I'm with you, Keely. I miss being on
I
campus and
miss
seeing
them.
our students, right?
I do. I miss them.
That's why we got in the biz.
That's
so
right.
that
So
so
this is
that
tough for us.
I know, when we logged in, I was like, oh my gosh, Keely, it's so good to see you,
I
but not
know.
see you. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day, and lucky for us, no interruptions from dogs or children or anything like that. Thumbs up to us. And
Good.
families, we'll put some information about how you can connect with us with this video, various emails and ways to get with the Office of the Dean of Students and other academic supports. And thanks for watching and hanging out with us. And thanks to my colleagues in OCM for setting us up and recording everything. So we hope you have a great day and stay healthy and safe. And we miss you all and look forward to seeing you in Newark. So
Thank
thanks,
you.
Keely.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Will do.